All right, YouTube, once again, it's Kennard Vernon Stewart here for the podcast. We're talking Auburn football. Go ahead and like the video, comment, and subscribe to the channel. As always, it's great to be an Auburn Tiger War Eagle. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, man, go ahead and subscribe and click the bell. Make sure you don't miss any of the action as we talk about Auburn a whole lot here on this particular channel. And one thing I like to do is help the fans get a very, very good outlook on what the team looks like. And I think we did a pretty good job of that here on Vernon Speak Sports last fall, because it gave a better pictorial view of why Auburn will be successful, why they may not, blah, 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 so forth and so on. So there are a lot of moving parts going on right now as Auburn gets ready to approach the spring practice. Now, I will say this. One huge gain for the Tigers is the fact that Auburn has an onslaught of early enrollees. I think some impact-making early enrollees, including Kobe Hudson, Romello Height, Tank Bigsby. All of those guys are going to be early enrollees. And just like we cited last year, when you're an early enrollee, it kind of puts you ahead of the pack, so to speak. You go ahead and get a chance to get involved with workouts and understand the culture of the football team and get an early step on possibly getting some playing time, or maybe even in Bo Nix and Owen Papo's case, actually earning a starting position. But the 2020 recruiting class, I think, was very solid for the Auburn Tigers. Auburn did a really great job of not only recruiting these guys, but getting a significant amount of the guys to early enroll, so that Auburn can really have a stable spring practice, really start to project what depth charts are going to be looking like, where you're going to be able to put certain players, whether you're going to be able to redshirt certain players, whatever, because you can project redshirting as well. So as we look back at the 2019 class, I thought a very, very talented class. I thought a very contributive class, if you really look back at it, especially when you look at guys like, Jaron Handy and guys like those who came and made somewhat of an immediate impact to help out with depth and things of that nature. But then there were some guys missing because of injury. You talk about Mark Anthony Richards, who was missing because of injury. And one of the most intriguing recruits, I think, of the 2019 recruiting class, especially if he can maintain his level of health, would be Javaris Johnson. We did a video on Javaris Johnson back last year when we talked about the 2019 recruiting class. He's garnished a lot of praise from the coaching staff. I think he's a very elusive, I think he's a very fast cornerback. He's about 5'9". I would imagine probably about 5'9", about 180 pounds at this point. He was about 165 pounds this time last year. But because of injury, he was forced to sit out. And that was another option possibly that Bo Nix could have taken advantage of in last year's football season. Because of his elusiveness, because of his talent, he's actually been compared to Auburn great Ryan Davis, one of the reception leaders for Auburn all time. And it's going to be very interesting to see, especially with the options talent-wise that Auburn has at the receiver position. Where does Javaris Johnson fit? Where does he fit in the schematics of, say, a Chad Morris? Can he be an ace in the hole, so to speak? Like I said, Ryan Davis was always that great check down guy for Jarrett Stidham, making those big plays across the middle, especially with those dig routes and those crossing routes, and every now and then some intermediate routes to really, really stretch the defenses out. One of my favorite versions of what Ryan Davis was actually good at was in the Texas A&M comeback in 2018, where he really, really let loose in those last few minutes of the game, to where he really stretched the defense out, put Auburn in a great position to score. Subsequently, Auburn comes up with one of the best comeback behind wins in recent history, and in my honest opinion, salvaging the 2018 season for Auburn. Because I'm telling you, if Auburn would have surrendered that game to Texas A&M, It's no telling. That was a program changing comeback, in my opinion, because Auburn was going down a downward spiral. Texas A&M would have been the nail in the coffin. You have nothing going into the Georgia game, setting up another loss, and the possibility of, with all the talent that Auburn had, ending that season 6-6, possibly losing the bowl game 6-7, divvy up the money, get Gus Malzahn out of here. But Noah Igbenogany and Ryan Davis, with their heroics, basically salvage what we see as Auburn football right now. Javaris Johnson is one of those guys, though, that could be very electrifying, especially if he can stay relatively injury-free, because now, you look at this thing and there's a lot of competition coming up. You have a great recruiting class for the Auburn Tigers. You also have some guys that are coming back, especially if Anthony Schwartz comes back. But very interesting to see where Javaris Johnson will fit in this particular offense for the Auburn Tigers. All right, you know the drill. Go ahead and like the video. Make sure that you comment. Matter of fact, we need a lot of likes because I want this thing to get traction on YouTube. YouTube seems to, as far as algorithm-wise, they send folks to you when you have a lot of likes, a lot of comments. But either way, we like this content anyway. Go ahead and like the video, comment, and subscribe to Vernon Speaks Sports Auburn. And as always, click the bell. And as always, it's great to be an Auburn Tiger.